Hello and welcome back to Christian Catch Up. I'm your host, Chloe Knight, and on this podcast we discuss all things life through a Christian perspective. Now to the side of me, I have the usual beautiful, wonderful, amazing ladies, Mel and Dawn. So today's episode we are going to be discussing forgiveness and why it's not actually what you think it is. So let's start, girls. Are you ready?
Bring it on.
So forgiveness.
Yeah.
Basically, how would you say you do it in your daily life? How would you say you basically exemplify it in your daily life?
I would say Jesus actually instructs us to forgive. So I think what really helped me was to wake up and forgive ahead of time. Like, I can choose to forgive what hasn't already happened.
Wow.
So, like, if I structure my day and I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna choose to forgive whatever is gonna happen to me today, because God has forgiven us for so much, and it's from the overflow that we are able to forgive others. So I think when I set up my day like that, I'm able to go forward, and something happens to me, I'm like, I've already forgiven you.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, you already preempted it,
Yeah.
basically.
Exactly.
That's some emotional intelligence there. Teach me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like you.
Exactly.
I
I
think
think
when you go
it's-
to forgiveness, I always think of 1 John 1:9. And when I'm thinking of that, and I think I need to be reminded
Yeah.
of why forgiveness is
course.
important, because for me personally, this is the hardest thing I struggle with.
Yeah.
I would go as far to say, but as for day-to-day life, it's repenting. I make mistakes all the time. I'm not perfect. So it's repenting and asking for forgiveness and dying before my cross. And it's essentially reading his word, living in his word, acting in his word, preaching his word. Not actual preaching. I'm not trying to be a preacher, but like actually saying his word and being an advocate, because one of the pastors at my church said, being a Christian is like being a mini representation of Christ everywhere you go. So it holds me to a higher level of standard. So even when I'm struggling and I'm like, it takes a minute, like I take a deep breath and I'm just like, I'm finding it. I do struggle, but it's because it's for him. If it was for me, there's not a chance I'd be in this kind of frame of mind. There's absolutely no chance. But for him, I will repent and I will forgive and I'll do whatever is required. And especially when it's so clear in scripture throughout the Bible. Nowhere in the Bible does it say, Chloe, you're allowed to hold a grudge against this person because on May 29th, they hurt your feelings. Like, unfortunately, but fortunately. Yeah. What about you, Mel?
You know what? Forgiveness was not something that came easily to me. Never did. Still doesn't. But I think there was a situation when I was, I think, late teens. I was about 18, 19.
Yeah.
And I had some relationship breakdowns with friends. And I felt that they had done me so wrong. And I couldn't let it go. And every night I'd be in prayer like, Lord, I forgive them. Lord, I forgive them. But then during the day, I'd be going over everything that happened in my head, like just going through it and thinking, look at what they did, God, look at what they did. And it got to a point where I'm not someone who, I don't like have ailments and stuff like that. Like, you know, some people like have random nosebleeds or whatever. I never used to have that. I started having nosebleeds.
Wow. And that was like during that time?
During that time.
Okay, yeah.
And it was actually because of, like, I actually learned during that season, when I hold on to anger, it starts to affect me physically, especially when I don't let it go. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember I was just like, Lord, I don't want to forgive them, but I have to. And, you know, it's so funny because Mark 11:26 literally says, if you don't forgive others, don't expect God to forgive you. This is the thing, like, don't expect God to forgive you.
Yeah.
And so now I've had to take the stance of, I forgive you because I want forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, no, I don't want to forgive you. I don't. I really don't. I don't think you deserve it, but I want forgiveness. So I'm going to forgive you. And it's not an easy thing, because the thing is that God has given us a mind that works, and my memory is long.
Works a bit too well sometimes.
It works a bit too well. And I can remember what you've done to me. And sometimes it then just takes me. Forgiveness is actually, I love what you said about waking up daily and, you know, kind of saying you're going to preempt whatever's going to happen. You're going to forgive them ahead of time. Yeah. For me, it's waking up daily and saying, Lord, I am still hurt, but I forgive them. And I will keep saying it every day. I will keep going before God and saying, I forgive them every day until I feel that forgiveness, until I can see that person and feel nothing. Then I'm like, it worked.
Yeah.
So
good.
Forgiveness is something that we all deeply agree that it's the right thing to do. Now, if it's someone in particular, would you go as far to say that if you've truly forgiven them, they're allowed access back into your life?
No.
Completely agree. Completely.
Yeah.
I think forgiveness is saying what somebody did or the situation at hand happened was wrong.
Yeah.
And that's okay that it was wrong, but there was nothing that you can do to prevent these kind of situations. And it's the forgiveness takes away the power from the situation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it allows you to truly give brain capacity and more freedom and love in your heart, where you can focus on things like God, giving back way more to your church. The more you find it harder to forgive, the more you're going to struggle with your daily life and reach your full potential. But forgiveness is completely okay, and forgiveness is a beautiful thing, but it doesn't mean you have any right to come back into my life. You don't.
Yeah.
And because God wants me to feel safe and God wants me to be protected, and God isn't trying to make me go back into a situation whereby somebody might have hurt me, and he wants me to wake up in my life and Chloe, you can be safe, you've forgiven them, I'm happy that you've forgiven them, I'm proud that you've forgiven them, but they don't need to come back into your life, because if you come back into your life, 9 times out of 10 for a lot of people, it's just a reoccurring thing again and again, and you don't have time for God anymore, because all that just sucks up your energy.
It makes you so bitter.
Very.
I feel like we become in that mentality where we say, oh, if I'm going to forgive them, that kind of validates what they did. And that kind of makes them, the severity of it, becomes less. In your mind, you think that if I forgive this person, then I've kind of written it off and it's all good. But no, some things that people have done to us are horrible. And I think knowing that we live in a fallen world and no one is perfect, and being able to see people through God's eyes and seeing that they are still a daughter or a son of God. And I think that is where we get the meekness to be at least take that one step to forgiveness. Being able to see that people are flawed, it is out of their brokenness that they've done that to us and that they've hurt us. And also to be I think when we become so offended by things, that's also kind of a selfish character that God wants to prune. So, not to say that God allowed that to happen in your life, but he uses everything to make you more like him. It's like the furnace fire. He wants to look at you and be like, that's my child, because they have forgiven something that is so hard to forgive. But it's 2 steps, it's forgiving and then forgiving the aftermath of what they've done to you. So it can be very complicated, and it's a process. And I think God gives us a lot of grace, because we are not God. We're able to speak to God and let our anger out, and he's very understanding with us. And he also says that vengeance is mine. So that person, he will deal with them, in his best way. So I think knowing that as well, knowing who you serve and knowing God's character, that he is still a God of wrath. If you read the Old Testament, I'm scared of you guys. No. But I think God does bring us justice. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I was gonna say I chuckled a little when you said, you know, vengeance is mine, because sometimes I'll be like, God, you're not doing it fast.
I know he's not.
It's not quick enough.
I want to see it in this light. But no, like the thing is everything you said. Sometimes we do have to go through these situations, and it is to prune the parts of us that, you know, aren't like him. You know, forgiveness has freed me for the fact that Jesus has forgiven me of my sins. But it frees me again to forgive others.
Wow.
It's like that freedom, it's just never ending. Like, I feel like to forgive is to be free.
100%.
And, you know, it does hurt, because we're human beings, we have feelings. But ultimately, you know, it's for his glory.
Forgiveness is not a one-time thing. It happens continuously, and it's almost a practice that we're trying to perfect over the years in our time as Christians. So is there any particular example, let's say, whereby you've forgiven somebody, however, you've reaped what you sowed because now it's benefited you? Was there anything in particular for either one of you where you've seen that come to fruition?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me a bit more, just a little bit more.
My mum is my best friend.
Oh,
Mum, when you watch this, I love
shout out Mel's mum.
But growing up, we did not have a very good relationship. In fact, I don't think we started to have a good relationship until I was at least 24.
Oh wow, it's like my age then. Yeah.
I could go as far as at one point to say I hated that woman. Or I felt like I did, because I absolutely do not. But I felt like I did. And actually, it was because I held on to so much. Like, I grew up in a Caribbean home. My mom did some things that maybe social services might not have agreed with. You know, like,
That one.
Don't out your mum, okay?
I'm not outing her. That's why I said do something. Do with that what you will. Human beings, like, my mom said some things that she didn't realize I held on to as well. Because, you know, when you get angry, you say things sometimes. And, you know, what helped me to forgive my mom, I couldn't do it on my own. And no matter how much I prayed, God, his grace is sufficient, and God can do all things. But there was something that couldn't get me there on my own. I just couldn't do it. And then I started going to therapy. And my therapist said the most profound thing. It sounds so simple, but they literally said, before your mom was a mom, she was just Arlie.
A girl.
Oh.
And when she said that, I was like, and she was like, you need to remove that title of mom, because that title is what was keeping me in the unforgiveness, actually. Because I was like, because you're a mom, you should. Because you're a mom, you should. So you should.
Yeah.
And then it was like, but Arlene can make mistakes. Arlene can. And I felt this, I'll never forget the experience in that therapy room. My shoulders felt so like, it almost felt like a weight just lifted. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I kept going to therapy, and, you know, I would tell my mum about my therapy sessions and what she said.
My dad's like, Chloe, I didn't ask. He's like, I didn't ask for your therapy breakdown.
And I was just telling my mum about, you know, I said, Mum, I didn't like what I went through, but I know that you're human.
Oh,
yeah.
And it was just the biggest breakthrough for us. And it's a journey. Like, me and my mum are still walking this journey, still learning each other, still building that relationship, because we almost did have to start again.
Yeah.
But that forgiveness, again, set me free, and how it benefited me, I got my mum back.
Wow.
I'm about to cry.
And that is heavy for me, because I used to, when I was in school, I used to see the girls who were close to their mom go into the shop doing their nails, doing this, and I used to be like, God, why can't I have that? Why can't I be close to my mom? She's all I've got. I'm an only child. She's a single parent. I have no one else. Why can't I have that? And it felt at one point like I would never have it. And so I took comfort in spiritual parents. And I thought that was enough, but it was never enough. I just wanted my mom. But I needed to get to that place where I could forgive her. I was holding on to too much.
Yeah.
And so I know that letting go of everything and knowing that she's human, she can make those mistakes, and I forgive her, and now I have my mom.
Oh, that's such a beautiful journey. I think with parents as well, the truth is, nobody's ever had a fantastic 100% relationship with their parents at all given times. Anybody says that, like I say, show me them and I'll show you a liar, because it's just, but it is beautiful that you had that grace, you had that decorum, and you had that mentality to even, first of all, get yourself to therapy. So second of all, to even bring it up at therapy. Third of all, to continuously take that walk is something that should not be played with, because when I tell you there's people out there 50, 60, 70 who are still dealing with that battle, but you took it upon yourself at a young age to go down that route, and now you have a best friend, not just a mum, is a testament to you and your character, and it's nothing to be played with. And I think that just shows into fruition that, again, you are the daughter of a king, and you just live up to that word, and I'm so happy for you.
I'm so happy. That's so amazing.
You're so cute. I can't. What about you, lovely?
Oof. I'm trying to think. You know, and sometimes, like, I know, like, the side of forgiveness can be very, like, you remember it like it was yesterday. You can be on that spectrum. But I can generally say that, like, I've forgotten a lot of things that people have done to me.
Lord, give me that grace.
And I was really like, God, is it just the trauma? Because, you know, when you experience trauma, it just sits in your unconscious. But I felt like God has really dealt with some things in my life where I'm able to forgive, and then 5 years will go past and then I forget. But, like, I would say in high school, I moved to this country, and I got bullied. I did get bullied, and it was very much like the back chatting and things like that, and setting me up for failures, and like lying to me about things, and then I would find out and I'd be like, oh, I thought you were my friend, I thought, you know, and I felt like I always put the blame back on me. I was like, I was just naive, and I was just like this, and I was too trusting or whatever. But I was brought up in that mentality of treat people how you want to be treated. And then I was like, because that happened, I was like, no, I should treat people accordingly. Which is like, that is not the doctrine of God. That is, you know. So I think I lived a very like, I'm gonna do what you did to me kind of thing, like, or I'm gonna treat you how you treat me kind of thing. And I lived my life like that. And then I think God really, when I came to him, he really convicted me of this. He was like, no, you need to just love them despite what they've done to you. I have been in seasons where I'm like really bitter and angry, and I don't want to forgive them because, like, how dare they do this to me? But I just remember what God has done for me. And yeah, I move on. And God really just has brought me to a place of gratefulness.
I'm going to give you both the biggest hug ever. Thank you for being so vulnerable and just showing that God moves through you, no matter how old you are or what journey you're taking. And I think that's a fantastic testament. And I mean, I'm not just going to leave you. I will be vulnerable as well, okay? I do, like, I struggle with forgiveness. It's no secret if you get to know me. Do you know what? The one that I'm ready to talk about is probably, mine's about a boy, okay? And before I was a Christian, I shared the most vulnerable part of me with him. And after sharing that thing with him, I was disregarded, through to the side, and he was just like, oh, I don't want you. I don't want you. In the same moment after everything's happened. And it was about me saying, what? I was like, I couldn't get my words out. I was like, so why did we have a vulnerable moment? Why would we, like, what happened? And I'm a big advocate of make peace with the apology that's not coming. Because there's 9 times out of 10, this boy's not thought about it once. You know, he's not. Yeah. And I'm not mad at him because, to be fair with you, everything leading up to that, he was a good person, and I have to believe in myself that he was a good guy that made a bad decision. And there was some back and forth there after that situation, but because before I found God, I was like, maybe if I just give him a few months, or maybe if I say, oh, I'll be casual with you, or maybe if I'll say I'll like be this kind of girl for you. And I was trying to make any which way I could. The fact of the matter is that in my thought, it was like, oh, I'm not good enough, because no matter what I'm offering him, no matter what I'm doing, he just does not want me. And it was like, it wasn't until I became a Christian a bit further in, after a few months, that I realised that what happened is rubbish. It is, and it's heartbreaking. And it hurts, like my heart. That was the first time I ever had heartbreak, like heartbroken. And that took me a long time to figure out, because after it I was like, well, I need to find a different boy then, because if he doesn't want me, maybe all these guys don't, and I'm getting older, and like I'm not probably gonna look as good when I get older. I mean, like all these kinds of things. And it was like, oh well, let me just try and find anybody that'll take me. So after that happened, and I forgave him, I never like vocally said to him like, oh, I forgive you, because in his head he's probably just thought, he's probably never thought about it again. Like, he's probably not. And the thing is, it's like, I'm mad because I'm like, how could you hurt somebody that much and never thought about it once again in your life?
And
like,
that's what hurts even more.
Because I'm just like, where's the heart? Like, where's the heart in this situation? But at the same time, I take accountability for the part I played in that. Because I willingly met that person. I willingly spoke to that person. I willingly tried to pursue them and get them back. So what was my vulnerable moment for the first time wasn't going to waste. And it didn't work, but at the same time, it taught me that I'm still of value now. When I forgave him, that I'm still of value. I'm still a fantastic woman that's going to be a fantastic like mother one day and things like that. But it is heartbreaking.
It is.
And I'm glad that I've forgiven them, because now that I've forgiven them, I have space in my heart to be like, God, I've got extra room in this little brain of mine. What do you want me to do? Like, we can move. We're great. But that was probably, my first heartbreak was the hardest thing that I had to forgive in my adult years, definitely. But you know, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm just, you're over there, I'm over here. And
pray for them.
Literally,
God actually instructs us to bless our enemies, not just to forgive or come to terms with what they've done, to actually bless them. And that is
you forgive them. It's like you can forgive them, but then I'm worried like, oh, I'll bump into them, and then they're gonna see that I've put on weight, and then they're gonna see like, oh, maybe I'm not driving the car that I wanted to get. I'm like, if you ever see this podcast now, in like, I'm just gonna be like, do you know what I mean? Definitely not as thin as I was when I was back then. So it's just like all these kinds of things come into play. But now I have become the woman I wanted to be, and I've broke free from the devil, because he's took so many years away from me. Because that's not
enough.
Like,
is enough.
Yeah,
that's
like
the biggest bag.
Is that
someone needs to come to him? God, come right now, smite him.
Sick of it.
I'm tired.
But that's definitely my story to forgiveness. It took a long time. It wasn't like I just went home and like, I forgive you.
Oh no,
it took years for me. Years.
As it does.
Yeah,
it really does.
That's forgiveness in one breath, and it really is not what you think it is. It's not just saying, I forgive you and carrying on about your day. It's not, especially with the big things. Like, it's genuinely a journey, but we are daughters of God. We are going to be fine. Will everything be fine? No. Will we be fine? Yes, because we're Christians. That's how we go. But that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much again, and thank you so much for even sharing them, like, really personal stories. So that is it from us, guys, for this episode. Please come back next Monday where you'll find another episode on our channel. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and check us out on our other channels. We are across on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I'll see you next week. Bye.